I gazed at my reflection as I put on the powder pink dress in the mirror. I felt like Baby from Dirty Dancing, and I did a little twirl. I couldn't wait to show my boyfriend my dress. If I felt this magical already in this dress, how would I feel once I got his praise and admiration? I stepped out of the bedroom, and I did a twirl. That's what you're wearing? What are you trying to do? Get the attention of another man? That's way too sexy. You should go change. My heart sank. I feel good in this, and I don't have time to change. I could feel the tension in the air and the anger and disdain seeping from his pores as he drove me to the club to meet my friends. I let it roll off my back. It didn't matter. He'd been so amazing. He was allowed an off day. After all the hurdles and heartbreak, I had finally found that magical relationship I was looking for. I knew because it felt so right, and it had been going at lightning speed. We'd moved in together just a few short weeks after meeting. Sure, it felt terrible the way he spoke to me when I came out in my dress, but I shoved it down and I chose to focus on the good. How lucky was I? Even though he had to work that night and he couldn't join me, he insisted on dropping me off and picking me up when I went out with my friends. I had such a great time dancing with my friends that I almost forgot about the tension earlier that evening. The dress really was something. I was showered with compliments and attention. Later that night when he came to pick us up, my friend and I gushed about what a great time we had. She started talking about all of the attention I got. He seemed to smile and laugh about it. And I felt reassured that everything was okay, and earlier in the night had just been an off-color moment. Boy, was I wrong. As soon as she got out of the car, that's when he let his anger out. I told you not to wear that. How many men did you make out with? None. I just went to dance and have a good time with my friends. Well, that isn't really something a woman in a relationship should be doing, and especially not dressed like that. When we got home, it only got worse. He yelled at me and called me a dirty whore as he shoved me into the shower to wash off my filth. In the shower, I let the water wash away my tears and bad feelings and tried to convince myself that everything was okay. My longing to be loved so deep after a childhood of abuse that I was willing to endure anything just to be loved even a little bit. I came out of the shower hoping and praying that things would be better. They weren't. He didn't let me sleep in the bed that night. As I laid on the couch, crying myself to sleep, the pain of wanting to be accepted and the fear of rejection burned so bright that it quashed the gentle voice coming from my soul telling me that no one deserved to be treated that way. A few days later, when he finally broke his icy silence, I just felt so relieved that everything was okay. I brushed aside his bad behavior. I shoved down those hurt feelings. After all, I'd been abused in my life, really abused, physically abused by my mother. So this didn't count, right? I mean, it wasn't that bad. At least he stayed and tried and was nice most of the time. Walking away from a relationship that isn't serving you when you've been hurt and beaten down can feel like the death of your dream to be loved. But one day, I looked in the mirror and I saw the little girl who had yearned for her mother to love her and was taught that love was pain. And she looked back and she saw the woman staring at her that was now accepting pain and abuse. And I decided to grab her hand and say no more and never again. In that moment, I decided to be the hero that she needed. So I threw away all the lies that she'd been told about what love was. And shaking with tears in my eyes, I started to walk past the fear that I would be alone forever. I tore past the idea that maybe not that bad was all that I'd worthy of. I ripped past the idea that I had to shrink myself down in order to be loved. until I found myself running towards a new version of myself, a newly birthed version that didn't allow others to determine what she deserved. When you can find the courage to shed the destructive beliefs placed on you by others and let the old version of you die, you create the space for the birth of a new dream, a dream where you are loved fully. No excuses, justification, or settling required.